Good morning, everybody. I think I've got this thing figured out now. I think it does start even before it says that everything's connected. It still starts, and I only know that because that's how it looks like it's working on the other videos. So, good morning and welcome back to the channel. You're checking out the Vegan Low Carb. We are going to give you our top 10 vegan low carb tips, tricks, and things we learned for the year because it has been a wild year. 2021 would have been considered a weird, wild year no matter what, thanks to the pandemic and stuff. But for me, I was recovering from a stroke, and I decided I was going to do low carb in the winter of 2020. So this whole year has just been a wild ride. This year flew by for me. It was like I was so involved in learning and creating a lifestyle for my husband and myself both. Because my husband, bless his heart, what I do, he does. And when I decided I was going vegan low carb, he's right in there with me. So he's not as strict as I am, but he still has done it, and he has still lost quite a little chunk of weight, and he's pretty happy with himself, you know. And I'm happy with him for what he's done. So I wanted to let you guys know some of the stuff I learned. There's so much stuff. When I was making this list, and yes, I do have a list for this. And when I was making this list, there's so many things. Oh my God, there's so many things. I had pages. There's pages of things you learn about yourself, that you learn about food, that you learn about cooking, that you learn about your body. I love all the videos by the doctors who explain the biology of everything and the science behind it. So I learned so much about how food affects our body this year, how sugar affects us. Oh my God, please, I pray that I never touch a gram of sugar again in my life. That's a whole separate video. I'm going to do one on it eventually. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the list. I don't want to take forever on this video. I want to give you guys the list and stuff because I'm going to be doing quite a few videos coming up in the future on different things that not only have we learned, but things that we're implementing in our new lifestyle and stuff, because it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's crazy fun. It's not like any lifestyle I've ever tried to live before, because you literally are going to change the way you live your life when you do this. I mean, you can't live the exact same life that you used to. When you become vegan, that changes your life. I mean, that changed our life huge, like 380, 360, or whatever. And this did another 360. It's just weird how much you'll change. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go I'm going to leave my number one choice at the end. You know how they do that on some shows, they go backwards? Well, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start with number 10. So number 10 on my list, that after I did it 3 or 4 times, was to let you guys know that you're going to face criticism. You're going to get blowback from your family, friends, people that you don't even know, people on the internet, other vegans. They're going to be like, you're doing low carb vegan, you're doing keto vegan. I don't call what we do keto vegan because we don't do the high fast and everything like a lot of keto groups do and stuff. And I've had keto people that have looked at the stuff we do say, yeah, that's not keto, because we just don't do the really high fats. There are some people that do the high fats. There are keto vegans, and they seem to be doing great, and that's their choice. We just choose not to do the high fats, and I've talked about that in other videos, so we're not going to go into that right now. So you're going to get criticism from people. You're going to get a lot of blowback from people. I know for this whole year, I did not cheat one time this whole year. I'm so excited because I made it a whole year without cheating at all. I wasn't even tempted. It didn't fall off my program. Didn't fall. And because of that, I'm down almost 100 pounds. So pretty excited and pretty happy with that. So anyway, and I did, like I said, you get the blowback, you get the criticism, you get people contact you, people send you DMs going, oh my God, what are you doing? Why are you doing this low carb thing? Blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you, I am so healthy when you look at my blood work, and I'm so healthy when you see how good I've recovered from my stroke and everything, and how well I can move now compared to, being paralyzed and everything. So I just take it with a grain of salt. Okay. But that is one of the things. Okay, so number 9, and I had this one up higher, but I did move it down towards the bottom, is to be adventuresome with food, because a lot of people get stuck when they decide to do something like that. They do what's easy. They'll grab a bag of salad, and they'll grab some tofu, and they have a tofu salad over and over and over again because they can't figure anything else out, and then they panic and then they fall off. Okay. You don't even know how many people this year have come to me and said, I just can't do this. I get bored with the food, or I just get sick of tofu, or I get, sick of whatever the one thing is that they're doing or whatever. And they fall off so easy over and over and over again. I've seen that this whole last year. I'm very adventuresome with food. I'm a chef by nature. I have a cooking page and a cooking Facebook page. I have a cooking YouTube channel that I just don't use that often right now since my stroke, but I do plan on it. That's why it's still there. But yeah, I like to cook. I like to play with my foods. I like to learn about food. So I've been very adventuresome. Look at the Vegan Kitchen Magician on Facebook, and that will show some of the stuff I've done, but my Instagram shows the most. Yeah, the Vegan Kitchen Magician on Instagram will show you the most of what kind of foods that I've been adventuresome with, and I am. I like that. Okay, so number 8, research. You guys, do research on stuff. But, if I could never get anybody to do anything ever except do research for things, that would be the thing I would ask you to do. I always wanted to be a scientist, a research scientist. So for me, it's nothing for me to spend a whole day going down the rabbit hole and researching something. It's nothing for me to go 3 days down the rabbit hole, or 5 days down a rabbit hole, or a month down a rabbit hole, because I want to learn things. So every single day I'm Googling, I'm YouTubing, I'm watching videos, I'm reading articles, I'm getting into medical things and read them and stuff. Please research. Research everything. Everything. Research about your food, just research everything. It's so good for you. It's so good for your brain and everything too. But it's especially good when you change your life. Number 7 on the list, and I put it further down the list, was because an accountability partner. This makes such a huge difference for so many people. My accountability partner is basically my husband, and then a few close friends and stuff that I talk a lot with, and my 4 daughters. They're all grown, so I have a lot of accountability partners. But it just makes a huge difference if you have somebody you can discuss what's going on with and what you're doing, and you'll make a lot of changes when you do this. I mean, I made so many changes from the beginning to now. Because what doesn't work, you'll toss it out and start something new, right? So having an accountability partner can really help you stay on track and stay focused, making those changes and stuff. Okay, number 6, pictures. My husband came up with a good one today. He said you ought to tell him, this is him, he's laying on the couch talking, you ought to tell him to take a before picture and use it as their background on their laptops or their desktops or the telephones or whatever. Now, I think that's a great idea. I do. I think that's a great idea, because in one of my private groups that only has 2 of us in it that we use to store documents and stuff in on Facebook, I have a before and after. That's funny that he said that, as my wall in that group, so that I see that every single day. And I'm one of those people that I take a lot of before, and I call them before and current pictures. They're not afters. There's never going to be an after until I'm dead, probably. There's always going to be a current. This is what I look like right now. So my before and current photos, I do a lot of them. I've done them the whole time, because it was actually a photo that I saw of myself that I may insert right here somewhere. That I saw of myself that caused me to go, something's got to change, and that's actually what sent me down the low carb path. So, pictures. I know that when you're heavy and you're big and you don't feel good about yourself, or I just know, because I've been all the way up to 300-some pounds. I know that when you're big like that, you don't want pictures. You hide behind people, but there's always someone who gets a picture of you. Every picture of me that I've hated the worst is one that someone else has taken of me, except for the one that I inserted, hopefully. That picture came from me seeing myself, looking over, seeing myself in the mirror and going, holy crap, what is that? And I was so freaked out that day. And you can see the miserable look on my face when I took that picture. But I guarantee you that everything has changed. That picture does not depict the me that I am currently. So it's easy to show the picture now, but when I took the picture, I didn't want anybody to see that picture. So I get it, but I'm telling you, pictures are a game changer. They just are. Okay, number 5. Okay, so you guys are going to laugh, but I said, in the beginning, you will be hungry. Make friends with your hunger. Okay, so when I first started low carb, when I went from eating all the food all the time, which was my mantra my whole life. I've told that to my husband. He thinks it's funny. He laughs every time I say it. I said, it's not funny. I mean, seriously, I was just hungry all the time, and I wanted all the food. I wanted everything. If I went shopping, I wanted to eat a bite of everything I bought that day. Is that not crazy? I mean, when I get hungry, I'm like, oh, I want this, but I want this, but I want this, this, that. And I would actually cook 4, 5, or 6 different things to have at a meal, thinking I was only going to eat a little bit of each one, but I would eat a lot of each one. Who does that? That's crazy stuff. But yeah, I did that. So I was hungry. when I first started doing this, I started right away with intermittent fasting. So I was cutting out breakfast and lunch and only having dinner. Okay. I don't know why I did it that way. That's just the way I chose to do it. It must have been based on videos I watched or whatever. I've got it all written down, so I do know why I did. I just don't have it here in front of me. But anyway, that's what I chose to do when I first started. Wow, I was hungry all the time. All the time. And then I couldn't figure out I couldn't figure out which foods I was supposed to be eating. I wasn't eating enough. Oh my God, it was something. And even after I did start figuring it out, there's still times in the beginning that I would have hunger, but it became a hunger that wasn't driving me crazy. It became like when I felt this little bit of hunger, I felt like I was being cleaned out. I felt like I was, instead of digesting, my body was repairing and healing and stuff, and it got good to me. I mean, pretty simple. It just got good to me, so make friends with it. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, number 4 is join a support group, guys. We have a group on Facebook, Vegan Low Carb, aka Vito. Go check it out. Check out. If you don't want to join that one, I'm sure there's tons of other ones now. When I very first got ready to do all this, I couldn't find any couldn't find any low carb vegan groups that were specifically what I was looking for. I was looking for low carb. I was looking for not keto. I was looking for low carb, not keto. I was looking for a support group that didn't have a lot of ads, it didn't have a lot of links, it didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff posted. I just wanted people talking to one another and helping one another and sharing the journey. Okay, so I created the group because that's how I could get what I wanted. Okay, so wait a minute, where is it? Number 3, know your non-negotiables, and we all have them. Know the things that have caused you to fail in the past on any kind of diet you've ever been on. This is not a diet, and you need to get that. That's part of the whole getting your mind right. It's not really a diet. It's going to be a lifestyle change, but you still have to know what are the things that you're not going to live your whole life without. See, I can live my whole life without wheat and grains, but I don't want to live my life without bread and pasta. So how do I accomplish that? Right? It's a dilemma. But I figured it out. I had a list of my non-negotiables. One was bread. One was pasta. One was desserts, especially holiday desserts. We don't really eat desserts that often anymore, but in the beginning we did. We ate a lot of them in the beginning. So I had a list of non-negotiables. Okay, thank God I've never drank, so alcohol was not on that list. There's a lot of things that wasn't on the list because I just didn't. Never drank soda, so that wasn't on the list. There was just a lot of things that were on the list, thankfully. But I had a few things on the list. But I had a list, and I knew what those things were, and I figured out what I had to do to replace those things and to give myself for a lifetime. What choices could I change these things to that would give me lifetime choices that I could live with? And I did figure it out. I did, so that'll come along in a future video, but I got that down too. Okay, so number 2, get your mind right. When you very first get started with this, you have to get your mind right, guys. You have to reframe your thinking. You have to reframe the negative stuff, because in the beginning you want to tell yourself, oh man, I have to go without all these things I love. I'm not going to get to have this again. I'm never going to get to have that again. If I have this, I'm cheating, and then I'm going to have to start over. Okay, you have to reframe that. I didn't do that to myself even when I first started, and it was hard when I first started, but I didn't put myself into a negative place with it. What I would do is think, well, okay, this is going to be an adventure. I'm going to have to figure out how to do this. But I didn't allow myself to get negative with it. I didn't worry about what I wasn't going to have. What I thought about was, what can I have? What can I do to make this better? What can I do to make this livable? What am I going to need to make this a lifestyle that's enjoyable? I want to enjoy my life. I'm 60. I don't want to be miserable. But I reframed everything in a positive way. I did not allow myself to go down that negative hole, because I knew that was just going to make things worse. But also, as you do it, your health's going to get better. You're going to feel better. You're going to have less cravings. You're going to be sleeping better and all that stuff. Hopefully that will help you with reframing that negative stuff. Okay? So number 1. Number 1. You guys are real loud. Greens will change your life. Do I need to explain that, or is it self-explanatory? Greens. All the greens, guys. I'm going to probably insert a picture here too. All the greens, they will save your life. If you can train yourself, if you never do nothing else for yourself but learn to eat, I'm going to say minimum of 6 greens a day, but in my group I say 8 to 10. But I really believe it's 8 to 12, and For me, it's 10 to 12. I eat a lot of greens, guys, and it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. Come join our group. We'll show you how to get that many servings of greens a day and to do it painlessly. Okay, and these days I do eat, I'm more in maintenance now, and I do eat 2 meals a day. I still eat my dinner, my little dinner that I have, and I have a little snacky, like about 3.5 hours before I have that dinner. I have a 4-hour eating window. Works great. We explain all that in the group. This is not the video for explaining all that, but I don't want to make it any longer than it is. If you guys have questions, you want to know things, I'll put the link to the group down below, and come see us. Just come check us out. All right? Happy New Year, everyone. Let's do this. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Bye, guys.